Mascot DNA Conspiracy. Forget the final score. Forget the star player's stats, the controversial calls, and the roar of the crowd. The real game, the one nobody is watching, might not be happening on the field at all. It might be happening right next to you, in the stands, with every cheer, every shared moment of triumph, and every single high five. We're diving headfirst into a theory so unsettling it could change how you see sports forever. It's called the Charon Protocol, a chilling proposition that suggests those beloved, larger-than-life sports mascots, the furry, feathered, and fantastical symbols of our favorite teams, are not just there for entertainment. They're on a mission. A covert, sophisticated operation to harvest human DNA from unsuspecting fans. Every hug, every fist bump, every interaction is a potential point of collection. This isn't about team spirit, it's about data. The most personal data on the planet, your genetic code. Let's set the scene. You're in a stadium, a modern-day coliseum packed with tens of thousands of people. The energy is electric, a tangible force buzzing in the air. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. The smell of popcorn, the deafening cheers, the sight of your team's colors splashed across a sea of humanity. In this environment, your guard is completely down. You're caught up in the collective emotion, a single node in a massive network of shared passion. And who is the ultimate conductor of this energy? The mascot. They are the living embodiment of the team's identity, a bridge between the players on the field and the fans in the seats. They dance, they prank, they console, and most importantly, they interact. They are designed to be approachable, lovable, and trustworthy. A high five from the mascot isn't just a gesture. It's a blessing, a moment of connection that makes your game day experience complete. And according to the Charon Protocol, that's the entire point. It's the perfect cover. So, where did this wild idea even come from? The name itself, Charon Protocol, is dripping with sinister meaning. In Greek mythology, Charon is the ferryman who transports the souls of the dead across the river Styx into the underworld. The theory suggests this protocol is a modern-day ferryman transporting the very essence of your biological identity, your DNA, from the public world into a hidden digital underworld of databases and analysis. The theory first bubbled up from the deepest corners of the internet, on encrypted forums and message boards frequented by data privacy advocates and alleged former stadium employees. It started with cryptic posts mentioning unusual maintenance routines for mascot costumes, strange tech requisitions disguised as entertainment upgrades, and whispers of a third-party contractor with ties to both biotech firms and private security agencies handling the specialized equipment inside the suits. These anonymous sources claimed that a sports stadium is the perfect, ethically gray hunting ground for a mass data collection project. Think about it. Where else can you find such a massive, diverse, and willing group of people in a single, controlled environment? A music festival? Maybe. A political rally? Perhaps. But a sports stadium is unique. The demographic is incredibly broad, spanning all ages, backgrounds, and genetic ancestries. The emotional state of the crowd is heightened, making them less perceptive and more open to physical interaction. And crucially, physical contact is not just accepted, it's an integral part of the fan experience. No one thinks twice about slapping a hand with a 7-foot-tall eagle or getting a hug from a giant plush bear. The mascot's costume provides the perfect Trojan horse. It offers complete anonymity for the operator inside, and more importantly, it can be outfitted with an array of concealed technology without anyone being the wiser. The very thing that makes a mascot so endearing, Its oversized, cartoonish features is what makes it the perfect tool for this alleged conspiracy. The big, clumsy gloves, perfect for housing collection sensors. The oversized head, ideal for concealing power sources, data storage, and transmission hardware. It's a brilliant, terrifyingly simple plan hidden in plain sight. The implications, if even a fraction of this were true, are staggering. We're talking about the creation of a massive, non-consensual genetic database. For what purpose? The theories range from the vaguely corporate to the deeply dystopian. Is it for hyper-targeted marketing, where a company could access your genetic predispositions to sell you specific products or insurance plans? Is it for identifying future athletic talent, scanning the children in the crowd for genetic markers of speed, strength, and endurance? Or is it something far more sinister? A government project to build a national DNA registry without public consent, a tool for surveillance and social control on an unprecedented scale. Every time you cheer for a touchdown, you could be unknowingly contributing to a system designed to categorize, analyze, and ultimately exploit you. That innocent, furry handshake suddenly feels very, very different. It's a violation of the most fundamental aspect of our privacy, our own biology. The idea is terrifying, but for a plan this elaborate to work, the methods would have to be just as sophisticated. So how exactly could a simple high five become a genetic heist? What are the tools of the trade, and what is the real motive driving this high-tech stadium shocker? High five harvesting. The theory of the Charon Protocol is one thing, a chilling concept that preys on our modern fears of surveillance and data exploitation. But for it to be more than just a wild story, it needs a mechanism. How could a mascot, in a fleeting moment of contact, actually collect something as complex as a DNA sample? The answer, according to proponents of the theory, lies in cutting-edge, speculative technology seamlessly integrated into the mascot suit. This isn't about a clumsy swab or a needle prick. This is about a silent, invisible, and terrifyingly efficient harvest. The primary vector, of course, is the most common point of contact, the high five. The mascot's oversized gloves are supposedly not just made of felt and foam, but are technological marvels. Imagine this. Woven into the very fabric of the glove's palm are biometric nanofibers, thinner than a human hair with a slightly abrasive texture. When you slap hands with the mascot, these fibers gently but effectively scrape off thousands of epithelial cells, skin cells, which are rich in DNA. You wouldn't feel a thing. To you, it's just the rough texture of the costume. To the system, it's a successful sample acquisition. Another proposed method involves adhesive micropatches. Think of it like an incredibly advanced microscopic version of a lint roller. A biocompatible, non-irritating adhesive layer on the glove's palm could instantly bond to and lift skin cells and loose hair follicles on contact. The adhesive is designed to be single-use per contact, with a new layer microscopically cycling into place for the next high five, ensuring no cross-contamination. A third, more exotic theory suggests the use of electrostatic collectors. A low-level, harmless static charge could be generated across the surface of the glove, causing loose cells from your hand to literally jump onto the collection surface, held in place until they can be processed and stored by a device inside the suit. But the collection might not be limited to direct contact. For moments when the mascot is just wading through the crowd, creating a wave of excitement, a more passive system could be at play. Proponents point to the possibility of subtle airborne particle collectors embedded in the costume, perhaps around the head or torso. These silent, high-efficiency filters could act like tiny vacuums, pulling in the air immediately surrounding the mascot. This air is filled with what's known as eDNA, or environmental DNA, minuscule particles of skin, droplets from breath, and sweat vapor that we all constantly shed. The system would then isolate the human genetic material, potentially even triangulating the source to the nearest fan using microsensors. The mascot's friendly bobblehead eyes might not be just for show either. They could conceal sophisticated biometric scanners, capturing iris patterns or facial recognition data to link the anonymous DNA sample to a specific, identifiable person in the crowd. The data, your genetic code now tagged with your face, is then encrypted and transmitted in short bursts via a proprietary low-frequency signal to a hidden receiver somewhere deep within the stadium's infrastructure. This brings us to the ultimate question: why? What is the motive behind such an elaborate, expensive, and ethically nightmarish scheme? The most straightforward answer is corporate greed. Imagine a health insurance conglomerate secretly funding the project. They could build a database that flags individuals with genetic markers for expensive, long-term illnesses, allowing them to adjust premiums or deny coverage. Or a pharmaceutical company could use the data to identify populations for clinical trials or to market genetic-specific drugs. Fan loyalty could be quantified, with teams analyzing the DNA of their most die-hard fans to see if there are common genetic traits they can use to better target and monetize their base. Then there's the more dystopian angle. A clandestine government agency could be using the program to build a shadow population registry, a genetic database of its citizens created without warrants, legislation, or public knowledge. This database could be used for anything from identifying criminals to tracking dissidents. It could be used to screen for individuals with specific genetic aptitudes, creating a pool of candidates for specialized military or intelligence roles. The evidence, cited by believers in the Charon Protocol, is naturally circumstantial and found in the digital shadows. There are leaked, unverified schematics of a Mark IV mascot interaction glove that show layers for collection and data transmission. There are slow-motion analyses of game footage where mascots appear to perform unnaturally precise hand movements during interactions, movements that look less like a friendly gesture and more like a deliberate scan. Ultimately, the Charon Protocol forces us to confront a deeply unsettling possibility: that the spaces and rituals we hold dear, the moments of pure, unadulterated joy, could be co-opted for purposes we can't even begin to imagine. It transforms the friendly team mascot from a symbol of unity into a silent, smiling spy. So, the next time you're at the game and that giant furry ambassador of fun comes bounding your way, arm outstretched for a high five, you'll have to ask yourself, is this an innocent moment of team spirit, or are you about to make a genetic donation you never agreed to? Let us know what you think. Is this a plausible conspiracy or just a wild fan theory? The conversation starts in the comments.